he showed us about forgiving. Forgiving releases the offender from the tension and guilt that was established by the offense. And forgiveness releases the offended one so they don't end up in resentment and bitterness. Now, how do you know when you've forgiven? The text tells us that when we are tender-hearted again towards the one who offended, then that gives us the emotional assurance that any words of apology have been accepted, but we know we've forgiven when we no longer have any resentment about the offense. Well, you'll find out soon enough. Will you forgive me? Yes. Would you really forgive me? And the question will go on until they detect that the kindness has been restored. Then loving like Jesus. We're to walk in love, we're told. That's a continual arrangement. Not just a novelty at first. There is a novelty in the first love of marriage. That's wonderful, but that novelty won't last for 50 years. There has to be just normal, Christ-like love. There was a dear lady, young lady named Ivy who was with her sisters and about 10 others in a year's ministry. And in that year's ministry, they were not to date one another in the group. That gets kind of complicated when you're in a ministry going around the world. But after it was over, that year was over, then one of the guys in the group invited Ivy for a date. And then all the stored up feelings were expressed. And her sister said at Ivy's wedding that when she came home to her sisters that night, she threw herself on the bed and said, "He loves me!" The outburst was novelty. We all like to be loved. But the love that Jesus shows is one walks in love every day, regardless of the weather or the feeling, they walk in love. And then how? Jesus said, love one another the way I have loved you. And of course that was a sacrificial love as he died on the cross. May you never forget that your marriage is to represent the union between Christ and his church. The world will need that example. Will you make your vows to one another? Hold hands. I, Christopher, take you, Stephanie.
I, Christopher, take you, Stephanie.
To my wedded wife.
To my wedded wife.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
For richer or for poorer.
For richer or for poorer.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
To love and to cherish till death do us part.
Love and to cherish till death do us part.
According to God's holy plan.
According to God's holy plan.
And with God's gracious help.
And with God's gracious help.
I, Stephanie, take you, Christopher.
I, Stephanie, take you, Christopher.
To my wedded husband.
To my
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold from this day on,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
till death us do part.
till death do us part,
According to God's holy plan,
according to God's holy plan,
and with God's gracious help.
and with God's gracious help.
You have determined to seal your vows by the giving and receiving of rings. Rings are a sacred symbol, signaling to others that you are in an exclusive commitment to your beloved. The precious metal from which they are forged reminds you of the precious possession you have in marriage. And the infinite circle they form remind you that your new relationship is never to end. Christopher, indicating your responsibility to Stephanie to receive her into your care and keeping, take the ring. Place it on her finger as both a symbol and a promise that you receive her. Just as this ring encircles her finger, so you are to encompass her with strength and protecting love. I'll say this. Stephanie, this ring I give you
Stephanie, this ring I give you
as a constant reminder
as a constant reminder
of my abiding love and commitment.
of my abiding love and commitment.
Stephanie, indicating your responsibility to Christopher to receive him into your care and devotion, take the ring. Place it on his finger as both a symbol and a promise that you receive him. Just as this ring encircles his finger, so you are to encompass him with strength and protecting love. And say this, Christopher, this ring I give you
This ring I give you
as a constant reminder
as a constant reminder
of my abiding love and commitment.